Welcome to day 001 of the spin-off construction podcast, formerly known as the Pod James Pod podcast. My name is Aaron Nix. Normally, I have a co-host, but he who shall not be named will not be joining me for this episode. I am going solo, and if you've listened to our show before, you may remember that in episode 001 that we had talked about our spin-off construction podcast. Well, I'm happy to announce that I am doing that right now. I am making things happen because if you listen to our show at all, you know that I'm the one that is pushing our agenda and making things happen and making things work. Because I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to the podcast. So here I am. You may hear a lot of traffic noise around me. I apologize if that's distracting you, if you're in your car or what have you. But I thought I would get in there. I would get in the scene today. And where I am at is I am. Oh, it looks like I'm a mile marker around 380 on Interstate 80. Just directly west of Lincoln, Nebraska. So it's kind of a mild day, partly cloudy. Lots of traffic here. We're on the interstate. I am next to a large construction crew, lots of cranes, a couple bulldozers, men in hard hats, lots of guys walking around. There seems to be, I guess we're taking up one lane of traffic on the interstate, and if you've ever been on Interstate 80, it's a pretty busy interstate no matter where you're on it. There's lots of semi-trucks driving by. Whoa! Oh, Nelly, that truck was close. That was close to my cone here. I am right next to some cones. If you drive through construction at any point, you probably recognize these cones. These orange cones. I hate these orange cones because anytime I'm driving, my worst fear is that there's going to be a cone 3 feet to the left and I'm going to have to swerve and miss it or something like that. But I'm here to make sure these cones stay put, nobody hits them, and that. Anyway, so that's my task delegated to me today from Roger, our manager here on the construction crew. So you may hear some traffic. I'm gonna walk over here. I'm gonna walk over here a little closer to the crew. Hey crew. Hey guys.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Are you recording us?
No. I'm not. Yeah, I'm recording. I'm recording for the podcast. Remember? No, the podcast. You know, it's like a radio show, but not. It's like on the internet.
I think it's getting careful.
No, the podcast is about. It's about James Bond, but I'm doing a construction podcast. I'm doing a construction podcast about what you guys are doing here. But I'm gonna try. Okay, I'll leave. Okay. They want me to take a step back, and give them their space, I guess. So I'm doing the construction podcast today by myself. I don't need a co-host. I don't need anything like that. But I figure I would try to implement as much with the Pod James Pod and construction podcast at the same time. So this episode, he who shall not be named and I agreed that we talk about on Her Majesty's Secret Service. And hey, any of you guys like James Bond? James Bond, like the movies, movie star. James Bond, 007. Secret agent. Oh, you do? You raising your hand. Come over here. Come over here. Hey, let's take a step away from the traffic for just a minute. Just a minute. Here, let me hand you a microphone to use.
Hey, so wait, how's it going?
So, I'm here with
Scott.
Scott. Did you say Scotty?
What'd you call me?
Scotty. He's, never mind. you said you like Bond movies. You're a Bond fan. And,
I mean,
and you raised your hand,
yeah,
right?
Who doesn't?
Exactly. I mean that we have a lot. We like James Bond, or I guess rather I like James Bond a lot on the show, and so that's why we started this podcast. It's based on James Bond movies. It's actually called James Pod
Podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. You've heard of it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just surprised. We don't have many fans.
I don't know. I just like listening to weird stuff sometimes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we can be a little weird sometimes. I try to not let it get weird. You know, usually we try to stay on topic as much as possible, and we really get in depth into the movies. Every once in a while, some weird stuff can kind of come out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So my co-host and I.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you're better off, dude.
Without Carlin?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, tell me more.
That's about it. Colin just never seemed like the kind of guy who could make it on a construction site.
I mean, what do you see Carlin doing?
I don't know, just podcast type stuff.
But obviously, I do podcast type stuff too.
Yeah, man, but you're from Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Well, you heard it here. You heard it here, listeners. I guess I'm just more of the blue collar type. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah. Like I could crack open a beer with you, I'm sure. I mean, say, hey, where's your? I don't have much time, but where's your dog? Alabama dog.
Oh, I mean, he's doing all right. He's I guess he's doing his own podcast too, for this episode.
Man, I love Alabama dog. You got to get him back on the show.
I mean, I've been trying. He's always so busy. You know, he's always got so much going on. He's a really just kind of becoming a famous entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So, but that's besides the point. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit what you like about James Bond.
The tricks are nice.
Well, yeah, there tend to be plenty of attractive women in James Bond films.
Yeah, hot girls, super hot girls.
Yeah, yes. Anything else? Any favorite movies or favorite actors or anything like that?
Oh, what's your favorite?
Well, we don't pick favorites on the show. We like to put movies in one of three tiers: the top, the middle, or the bottom. And I'm supposed to be covering on Her Majesty's Secret Service on this episode.
Her Majesty's what?
I mean, Her Majesty's Secret. It doesn't even really matter. I mean, nobody watches this movie anyway. It's kind of an oddball film. It's George Lazenby's stars in it as James Bond, and
yeah.
It's his only movie, if you remember that.
Yeah. And
there's he's right in the middle of two Sean Connery movies, and the movie's directed by an editor, or a gentleman who had previously been an editor, and it's pretty obvious that this is an editor's showcase, even if it's to a fault. And there's lots of wonky scenes. George Lazenby isn't memorable at all, and the story, there's just every scene seems to have some sort of like major quirk about it that is just very odd. And by golly, those puffy shirts drove me crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, okay, is this going to take very long? I mean, I gotta get back to work. My boss has been hounding me all day, man. And you being on location here, it's just it's been distracting for some of us guys over there. We're trying to work, and I like James Bond. I like you even. I mean, I listen to the show. I'm a fan and all, but I mean,
of course, okay.
I gotta pay the bills.
Yeah,
I gotta keep working.
Of course, Scott. I don't mean to take you away from your job. I sorry, yeah, you're just the first person I found here who liked James Bond, and I got a little excited because I'm trying to do the podcast, and listeners are, they want to hear about James Bond, and so you maybe can I ask you a few questions about what you're working on?
Yeah, some stuff. I gotta set up some lights right now for the night shift. We're going all nighters. Well, I guess I'm not going all night, but I gotta set up for the night crew.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense for some interstate work, because if it's done at night and not such at heavy times, that's why we're recording this on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
So, well, what time do you get off?
I'll get off at about 7.
Oh, cool. So I mean, what do you normally do when you get off work? Do you usually go back to your house and crash for a little while? Maybe pop in a movie?
I mean, yeah, every once in a while I'll watch a movie.
So what kind of movies do you like?
I like CSI and CIA.
Well, those are TV shows. So like, what kind of movies? I mean, what are some recent ones?
Yeah, I like I saw 22 Jump Street lately, and that was pretty funny. I got a big kick out of that one. I mean, every once in a while I like watching the Bond movies. I mean, I like your guys' podcast. So
yeah. I mean, me too. I like watching Bond movies every once in a while. I mean, I know I own the Bond movies only on DVD, but I was thinking of maybe watching maybe another one tonight.
Cool, yeah.
I mean, if you could watch any Bond movie tonight, what would you pick?
I like that Falling Skies one, the Skyfall one. Yeah.
Yeah, Skyfall rocks. So I gotta ask you, so whose dodgeball team do you think would win in a match? Mine or Carlin's?
Oh yeah, the dodgeball. I don't know, dude. Not sure anyone could compete really with the Aston Martin car.
Yeah, I mean, right?
I mean, the Aston Martin car is. I mean, it's just fully loaded. It's just fully loaded with weapons, and there's kick-ass machine guns and oil slick and things like that. And Carlin's team, and the best player in Carlin's team is a shark, right? A shark, and which is pretty badass itself. But let's get real. The Aston Martin car is where it's at.
So you're saying my team is the better team?
Yeah, no doubt. Your team, yeah, I guess.
All right, it is official, according to Scott here on Interstate 80. Aaron's dodgeball team is much better than Carlin's dodgeball team and will win in any match. Thanks, Scott, for your endorsement.
Anytime, man. Anytime, man. No problem. So who were you just talking to right then?
You know, the listeners, the people who will listen to the podcast in the future. So when this podcast is actually posted, these are the people who will be listening to it. So tell me how you heard about the show again.
Well, to be completely honest, I just randomly came across I guess an Alabama Dog U session.
You met Alabama Dog.
I thought it sounded real cool. I mean, like there'd be some really cool people there. Maybe even some babes.
So you met Alabama Dog. What made you think babes would be at one of his sessions?
I mean, babes love cute dogs.
So, okay. So what was the session about?
Well, I think it was called the Alabama Dog Days of Summer.
I see. So you thought summer. It's hot outside. You're thinking beach. You're thinking beach babes. Bikinis.
Yeah, man, all that.
So what was it really like?
I mean, that's exactly what it was like.
Well, so the beaches and the babes and all that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess I haven't been to a session yet, so I really don't know what they're turning into now. I guess I better make sure Bama Dog isn't getting out of control. So you drove down to Alabama for the session.
Man, I teleconference with them. I was actually on the construction site with a bunch of my friends, and I mean they posted pictures before, and I thought it'd be pretty cool for my buddies to see what Bama Dog's doing, and he gave some awesome advice.
Can you give me examples, some of his advice for you, Scott, a construction worker here in Nebraska?
Well, I mean, he just really encouraged me to live my dream and to use his business model as an example of how to do things right and how to make clients happy, and to never give up on your dreams, and to keep your to love what you do, and to really focus on co-worker relations, because he's an expert on office environment.
Yeah, I mean that's what I keep hearing.
Hey, Scott! Hey, Scott!
Hey man,
Let's go.
I gotta keep working. It's been nice talking to you.
Hey, Scott, I mean, you mind if I just keep recording while I work with you? Can you kind of show me what you're doing here, what we're doing here on the construction site?
I mean, yeah, man. You can pick up some of these rocks and put it over here in this truck while I'm setting up this light.
These giant boulders right here. That's what you want me? Okay, here we go. Oh man, my back isn't ready for this. Okay, one.
Hey man, but you gotta hurry up, man. You can't slow me down. You gotta help me out.
I'm trying. Listen, Scott, I'm trying, man. This is tough. Listen, I'm not used to working this construction. Maybe I can help you out with these lights.
Yeah, man. Just come lift this side from me, and pull these cables over.
Yeah.
here.
Okay. So this side of the light. Okay, and these cables. Pull them. Okay. I see. And this plugs in the right here. Okay.
Yeah, man. You got it, man. If you ever got free time, you could always hop on the crew. You could always work with us.
I mean, yeah, that would be awesome. I could record, day 002 here on the construction podcast, and 003 and so on and so on.
Yeah, man, we could maybe start our own podcast.
Yeah, I mean, you like podcasts enough?
I mean, I don't want to turn into Carlin or anything with all his podcasting stuff, but I like the way you do it. I like the way I like the way you and Alabama Dog podcast. It just seems a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
It seems like you guys have a vision and you know what you're doing.
Awesome.
And I like the Nebraska headquarters so much better than the Tallahassee, Florida
I totally agree.
headquarters. I'll tell you that.
Yes, we are on the same page. Well, I got to ask you if your boss would be okay with this.
Yeah, man. All he's got to do is just hire you, and then basically put you on the same team as me, and we would just record ourselves talking while we're doing our construction podcasts and working on the interstate here. It's a pretty good gig when the weather's nice.
Yeah. Do you get much bad weather out here?
No, it's always windy out here. It's the middle of the summer, so it's pretty hot. But we've been kind of in a dry spell lately, so there's not much rain.
Yeah, man, we need the rain. Absolutely need the rain. It's really important for this area. I agree.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and hey, man, if you're gonna watch Skyfall later, yeah, man, we could totally watch Skyfall together. That sounds like fun. You want to watch Skyfall later?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to watch Skyfall, then that sounds like a blast, Scott. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, man. And if you know any babes, we could watch Skyfall together. Then yeah, that would be great too. Or I could bring some babes too.
Well, Scott, I'm married, so we'll probably leave the babes out of it. But you're more than welcome to come over and watch Skyfall. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I like the way this is going. I had mentioned earlier on the show before I met you that I probably didn't need another co-host, but if I think we have a really good chemistry going on here. I think this could work. I think the listeners will be a fan of this show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, maybe before we watch Skyfall, I could make some peppy coffee for us, and we could have a couple cups and hang out before we start the movie.
Man, I don't know about that.
What don't you know about?
The peppy coffee, man.
I mean, it's just coffee. I mean, do you like coffee, or do you not like coffee?
No, man, I drink coffee and all, but
Well, what?
the peppy coffee, man, it's just not my thing. It's just I listen to your show, and I know we don't get it here in Nebraska, so I asked Alabama Dog to send me some samples, and it just wasn't my thing.
Wasn't your thing, as in it just wasn't your preference.
Yeah, man, I thought it sucked. I thought it sucked pretty bad.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry to hear that, Scott. That's pretty. I mean, it's pretty offensive to me. I mean, you're bashing peppy coffee, and peppy coffee is like my lifeblood here, and it.
Yeah, man, I don't know what to say. I just don't dig it.
You just don't dig it. How can anyone not dig peppy coffee? It's peppy coffee, huh? Why? How can anyone not love the deliciousness of peppy coffee? I mean, you just need one drop of peppy coffee a day. It's just, you can smell it miles away. Oh, it just...
Yeah, man, you're getting kind of weird. That sounds gross. That sounds disgusting. I don't like the peppy coffee. I mean, if you don't want to do the show, if you don't want to drink peppy coffee, that's fine, man. You just gotta tell me.
Yeah, man, I don't think it's gonna work out. Because I always drink peppy coffee while watching my Bond movies. And if you are grossed out by peppy coffee, then that's a deal breaker.
Yeah, man, well, I got some work to do, so...
Yeah, man, I understand. Yeah, I gotta get going anyway. I gotta. Maybe I'll go catch up with other guys in the crew.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, check you later, man.
Okay, well, that didn't work out so well with Scott. Yeah, I don't know what to say. And this is really not a safe environment for me. I don't really know what I'm doing here on the construction site. I've never done construction in my life. A lot of respect for these guys. Pretty grueling, tough job. Maybe I'm just not cut out for it. Maybe I'm just not cut out for it. So, well, Scott and I, we didn't get much of a chance to talk about on Her Majesty's Secret Service, but maybe that's for the best. So, hey, Scott, where would you rank on Her Majesty's Secret Service?
Oh, Her Majesty's what? Oh, the Bond movie?
Yeah, the Bond. Yeah, the one where Bond gets married and she dies at the end. She gets killed by Blofeld.
Yeah, man. That I don't know. It was on the bottom. I gotta get back to work, dude. On the bottom.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to agree with Scott. I think I'm going to agree with Scott here. On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a pretty solid bottom choice for me. It's just one I'd prefer to skip over. So, anyway, from all of us here on the construction podcast spin-off of the James Pod podcast, And by all of us, I mean me, Aaron Nix. Thank you for listening. I think it's pretty obvious that I don't need Carlin to be on the show with me to tell me things. But man, he does like peppy coffee. He did like peppy coffee. Man, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go call Alabama Dog. And anyway, thank you for listening. And you will hear from me next month on episode 0014. Goodbye.